Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Katie Logan stood at the podium with practiced calm, the kind that comes from years of navigating public scrutiny, but beneath that composed exterior, something fragile was already cracking. The press conference was meant to be a turning point, a confident declaration that Logan Media was back on solid ground and ready for its next chapter. Cameras flashed, reporters murmured, and every eye in the room was fixed on Katie as she took a breath and began to speak. This moment was supposed to reassure investors, silence critics, and signal strength ahead of the highly anticipated launch. Instead, it slowly unraveled into a disaster no one at Logan Media saw coming. At first, Katie's words landed exactly as planned. She spoke about innovation, resilience, and the company's commitment to ethical journalism. Her voice was steady, her posture confident, and for a brief moment, it seemed like the storm clouds hovering over the Logans were finally beginning to clear. But the mood shifted the instant the questions started. One reporter asked about internal tensions within the company, and while Katie smiled politely, there was a flicker in her eyes that suggested the question hit closer to home than she expected. She tried to redirect, emphasizing unity and shared vision. But another reporter jumped in, this time pressing about recent staff departures and rumors of disagreements behind the scenes. The room grew quieter, the kind of silence that presses down and makes every breath feel too loud. Katie hesitated, just for a second, but in that second, the narrative slipped from her grasp. Her response came out more defensive than intended. She insisted the departures were routine, part of natural restructuring, but the words sounded rehearsed, hollow. The reporters sensed it immediately. Follow-up questions came faster, sharper, each one chipping away at the image of control she was trying to project. Someone mentioned leaked emails, hinting at conflict between key players at Logan Media, and suddenly the conference felt less like a victory lap and more like an interrogation. Katie's composure began to falter. She corrected a reporter on a minor detail, then stumbled over a date, and those small missteps only fueled the room's energy. Cameras zoomed in, capturing every tightened jaw and forced smile. Social media lit up in real time, clips circulating before Katie even realized how badly things were going. What was meant to be a controlled message was spiraling into a public spectacle. As the questions grew more pointed, the shadow of the pre-launch setback loomed larger. The upcoming project, the one Logan Media had quietly been betting everything on, was suddenly at the center of the storm. Reporters demanded clarity. Was the launch still on schedule? Were there technical issues? Financial concerns? Internal disagreements that could delay everything? Katie tried to reassure them, but the certainty she needed simply wasn't there. She spoke about confidence in the team, about overcoming challenges, but her words lacked specifics, and in this room, vagueness was as good as an admission. One reporter bluntly asked if the company was prepared for another delay. The question landed like a blow. Katie paused, and that pause said more than any answer could have. The silence stretched, and in that moment, it became clear to everyone watching that Logan Media was facing more than a minor hiccup. Behind the scenes, the Logan family could already feel the impact. This wasn't just a bad press moment. It was a crack in the foundation. For a family that had built its legacy on influence and perception, losing control of the narrative was dangerous. The pre-launch setback, once a manageable internal issue, was now front-page news, dissected by analysts and speculated on by rivals eager to see the Logans stumble. Katie attempted to regain control, thanking the press and signaling the end of the conference, but the damage was done. As she stepped away from the podium, the room buzzed with conversation, and the cameras kept rolling. Her exit didn't feel triumphant. It felt rushed, almost desperate, and that image would linger long after the lights were turned off. The fallout was immediate. Headlines painted the press conference as chaotic, questioning Katie's leadership and the company's readiness for its upcoming launch. Commentators dissected her every word, her tone, her body language, searching for signs of deeper trouble. What they found only fueled speculation that Logan Media was on shaky ground. Within the Logan family, tensions simmered. Some believed Katie had been set up to fail, pushed into the spotlight before all the issues were truly resolved. Others felt she should have been better prepared, more transparent, less defensive. The press conference didn't just expose corporate problems, it exposed fractures within the family itself. The pre-launch setback now carried far greater weight. What had once been a delay that could be quietly addressed was now a public test of credibility. Partners grew cautious. Investors asked questions. Competitors watched closely, ready to capitalize on any weakness. The pressure mounted, and with it, the stakes rose higher than ever. Katie, for her part, was left grappling with the aftermath. She replayed the conference in her mind, every question, every pause, every moment she wished she could take back. Her intentions had been good. She wanted to protect the company, the family, the legacy they had built. But intention didn't matter in the court of public opinion. But this perception did, and right now it wasn't just about scandal or rivalry. It was about trust. Trust in leadership, trust in vision, trust that Logan Media could deliver on its promises. The press conference, meant to restore that trust, had instead cast doubt on all of it. As days passed, the ripple effects continued. Meetings were called, strategies reassessed, and contingency plans discussed in hushed tones. The launch date loomed like a ticking clock, each second amplifying the urgency. Every decision now carried more risk, every misstep more consequence. Katie knew she couldn't afford another public failure. The next move had to be decisive, clear, and unshakable. But clarity was hard to find when so many variables were still in flux. The setback wasn't just technical or logistical. It was emotional, personal, tied up in family dynamics and long-standing expectations. In the end, the press conference disaster became a defining moment, not because of what was said, but because of what it revealed. It showed how thin the line was between confidence and vulnerability, between control and chaos. It forced the Logans to confront uncomfortable truths about their company and themselves. Whether Logan Media could recover remained to be seen. The launch could still succeed. The setback could still be overcome, but nothing would be quite the same. The illusion of effortless dominance had been shattered, replaced by a raw, public struggle to hold everything together. And at the center of it all stood Katie Logan, determined but shaken, facing the hardest challenge yet. The cameras might have been turned off, but the real test was just beginning, and this time, there would be no carefully scripted statements to hide behind. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.